Patrick Chan, good to see you again. Friend, even though from a distance, I always love talking to you, but I hate the subject matter that we're talking about now. You, unfortunately, are dealing with two pandemics in a way right now. As an Asian Canadian, we've seen both in Canada and the United States hate crimes against people of Asian descent in everyday walks of life. How have you dealt with seeing it visually the way we all have?
Tired, I think is a good word to use. Tired of the pandemic, and also, unfortunately tired of the hate crimes that are happening towards my people. It makes me think about my parents too. Do I need to worry about my parents walking down the street every day? I have to accept my privilege as well. As an athlete, I've been supported every step of the way by Canadians across the country, but that doesn't mean I can't lend my voice for those that have a hard time being heard.
Sadly, some of the things that we heard are terms like China virus. Those words obviously sting, but why do they really matter in terms of this broader conversation that we're trying to have?
We're blaming one race, one type of person. We shouldn't be pointing fingers at anybody. And this is a global pandemic. We have to get through this together with love and care for each other.
What we're starting to realize is the words that are used specifically about female Asians and female people of Chinese descent specifically. What have you started to realize about the portrayal of females that are Asian?
I think it's time to change the perspective we have towards Asian women being the center of attention for fetishes. Even what happened in Atlanta, the shooter saying that he has a sex addiction and he was tempted by these women, Asian women, to feed his sexual fetish. To even allow him to use that as an excuse is absolutely ridiculous.
Often, as immigrants, we're told you have to prove how Canadian you are and how much you love Canada, or in fact, your family chose to be in Canada. What's your specific immigration story?
Well, both my parents are Chinese born. My dad came right to Canada at the age of 3. My mom at age 25. Growing up, I had this, I think, almost this identity crisis of, am I Canadian or am I Chinese? As a first-generation Canadian, that's maybe one of the struggles that I share with many other Chinese Canadians, of just, should I be more Canadian or should I be more Chinese? And that's been a struggle all these years.
How did that struggle impact your career and your skating and how you perceived yourself representing Canada, but also trying to bring your authentic self to your performance?
Trying to find my authentic self was the hard part. I think right at the beginning when I started figure skating, immediately as a person of color, you feel isolated. It's bringing up some old memories of, my mom telling me to tell the coach not to pick Chinese music to skate to, making sure that I don't wear a Chinese-styled costume. I never really understood why my mother would make those types of comments. And now looking back, I think it goes back to that European influence of figure skating and wanting to fit in. Because at the end of the day, figure skating's origins are very much elitist and white.
Across sport, across arts and music, we're seeing at this time Chinese Canadians, many of them first and second generation, having wild success in areas where you didn't necessarily see them in the past. What's it like for you to see, some of your brethren and sisters doing things that you're doing?
It makes me proud. It's such a great change in terms of my identity. We talked about at the very beginning of my career in figure skating, I was almost ashamed of being Chinese. I was ashamed of my mom speaking with an accent. I would feel ashamed of that. Even during that time where I felt disappointment, they were still there every day supporting me. Almost like they knew I was gonna get through this and figure it out. And now I'm proud because I see others who share the same struggles and yet they're immensely successful and respected. That gives me confidence and makes me feel proud of where I'm from.
We started this conversation talking about the pain that you feel, and now we're ending it talking about the pride that you feel. What makes you feel hopeful about the future of this issue and these conversations?
With the younger generation, my generation, moving into roles where we can make change, isn't that something special? That's something that we can look forward to. We're given a voice to voice our opinions and our experiences, and we need more people like that to shine some light on the challenges that we went through growing up, that our families went through. It's just being heard is enough sometimes. So I just look forward to seeing more success stories, and but there's lots to be done still.